After a 5-week summer break, the battle for the coveted 2014 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship crown resumed at a packed and sunny Snetterton in Norfolk. It was Colin Turkington who led the points table as the UK's premier race series entered its second half. But it was double champion Jason Plato who planted his MG on pole position for the first of the 3 action-packed showdowns. Turkington's BMW lined up second, with Sam Tordoff making it 2 MGs in the top 3. Behind them came former champs Matt Neal and Alain Menu. Neal's teammate Gordon Shedden was back in a lowly 11th, while defending champion Andrew Jordan had it all to do, starting from the pit lane after missing out on qualifying following a crash in Saturday's first free practice session. As the lights went out, Plato made the perfect start, with Turkington tucking in behind the MG. Behind them it was the VW of Menu that had slipped into third as Tordoff went all over the grass, kicking off some predictable first corner mayhem as the dust flew. There was further opening lap drama as Jack Goff and Mark Hines came together, sending the former Formula 3 champion spinning off the track. As Plato and Turkington made their getaway, Neal battled his way first past the Toyota of Tom Ingram, and then Menu into third. Aaron Smith was also on the move, squeezing inside Ingram and in the process opening the door for Adam Morgan's Mercedes and a grateful Shedden. Morgan then squeezed his way past both VWs to grab fourth, leaving Menu with a long line of cars behind him. Up front, the untroubled Plato and Turkington continued to set the pace, passing the lap focus of Dave Newsham as they flashed across the finishing line. Behind them, Morgan closed on Neal, but eventually had to settle for a season-best 4th place, with Menu holding on to 5th from teammate Smith and Shedden, who had bravely battled his way through to 7th. Andrew Jordan, meanwhile, fought his way through the pack to claim 16th spot, but still had a lot of work to do if he was to score points later in the afternoon. In race 2, it was the slightly lighter BMW that made the faster start, with Turkington grabbing the first corner lead from Plato. Neal slotted into third, but behind them Menu clashed with Morgan, resulting in the Swiss star being fired dramatically across the pack and into the barriers. Taking advantage of Menu's demise, Jordan was jumping into the top 10, but the champion's charge was short-lived as he came off worse in a dramatic 3-way scrap for 9th. Morgan, meanwhile, had his mirrors full of Shedden's Honda Tourer, and it wasn't long until the Scot had scythed down the inside into 4th, which was then to become 3rd when teammate Neal moved aside. At the sharp end, though, Plato wasn't letting Turkington escape, the MG closing right onto the tail of the leader before making the move through into the lead just after half distance. The BMW driver duelled it out, but eventually settled for a safe 2nd as Plato took his 85th career win, and more importantly, to make further inroads into the Ulsterman's championship lead. The 2 factory Hondas came home 3rd and 4th, with a recovering Jordan stealing 15th and the final championship point right on the finishing line. But the champion would miss the final race of the day on medical advice after showing signs of exhaustion, further to the previous day's high-speed accident. With the top 8 reversed for the day's final showdown, Aaron Smith's VW was on pole, ahead of the 2 Airwaves Ford Focuses of Fabrizio Giovanardi and Matt Jackson. Previous pace-setters Plato and Turkington were further back in the pack. Smith made a good start with the 2 Fords tucking in behind. Morgan's Mercedes was in the mix too, before losing ground after contact from Neal's Honda. There was yet more drama in the midfield as Martin Depper got sideways and collected Nick Foster's BMW. After several attempts, Jackson finally managed to squeeze past his teammate into 2nd spot. At the same time, Turkington and Neal made contact, this time the Honda coming off worse. Back at the front, Smith was doing a great job to hang on to the lead, soaking up increasing pressure in a very impressive fashion from a longer and longer line of hard-charging adversaries. Jackson was right on the VW's bumper as the high-speed train entered the final lap, but it was 3rd place Giovanardi who wilted under the pressure. The Italian ran wide as Turkington, Plato and Neal all charged through. It It was the unflustered Smith, though, who hung on to score his second BTCC win of the season after what had been another epic encounter, less than 6 seconds covering the top 10 as they flashed over the line. With the BTCC now heading to Knockhill in Scotland, Louise caught up with Gordon Shedden as the teams headed north for what are sure to be 3 more action-packed races.
Well, Gordon, this weekend at Snetterton has provided some interesting racing, albeit possibly not the results that you would have wanted.
Difficult weekend's probably the best way to put it, but you know, the handling of the Civic Tourer has been fantastic. It's been awesome on the brakes, but you need 3 elements, and one's been a little bit missing this weekend. But I've made the best of it that I could. Tough in qualifying. To qualify 11th, that meant I was always going to struggle, but you know, somehow managed to make some places, you know, in every race, and I take the positives out of that. Just frustrating that we don't seem to be able to quite fight at the ultimate at the moment.
Well, if you're going to have 100% the support of the home crowd at the next round, because we're off to Knockhill.
Yeah, and you couldn't find 2 more different circuits, both in location in the UK, and also, you know, Snetterton being the longest lap that we go to, Knockhill one of the shortest, Snetterton being one of the flattest circuits, Knockhill being like an absolute roller coaster ride. So, yeah, we got to work it out. We need to do some winning pretty soon, and Knockhill would be a cracking place to start it all up again.
And Knockhill does always provide us with brilliant racing, doesn't it?
It does. You know, the nature of the circuit means that there's, you know, it really is all action. And I mean, with 30 plus touring cars going around Knockhill, it is going to be an absolute cracker of an event.
Quite a setting as well. I mean, for the fans coming along, it's a beautiful location.
Lovely, you know, 900 feet above sea level, beautiful views, and a lot going on this year. It's the 50th anniversary since Jim Clark won the British Touring Car Championship, so a massive Lotus presence with cortinas and things, which would be pretty cool. And it's also the 40th anniversary of Knockhill as well. So, you know, the place has changed a lot in 40 years, and you know, I'm really hoping for a kind of carnival atmosphere as the weekend goes on. Hopefully, with some silverware to cheer for me at the end of it.
So it's going to be a busy weekend, I would imagine, because obviously it's a circuit where you work.
Yeah, but you know, hopefully the sun shines. You know, the Scottish crowd love their motorsport, whether it's bikes, rallying, or circuit racing. You know, and hopefully they can give me that extra little kind of you know, spur on to get to the top step of the podium.
See you there.
Look forward to it.